Have you
Really?
like worked place that's so bad that you want to like just sue them?
I work in India, so yes. Always. The answer is always yes. Hi, we are.
Nuna Talk.
I'm Zara,
And I'm Sophia.
and we are back with a brand new episode. Before we get into all of the tea, and let me tell you, there is so much tea to be spilled. We are Noona Talk, a podcast where we talk about K-pop, K-drama, K-culture, K-beauty, especially if you are a Desi stan. But even if you're not, we welcome you with open arms. We are here on our podcast channel, on YouTube, and all podcasting platforms every alternate week with brand new episodes that could be about K-dramas, K-pop industry's tea, reactions, so many more things. You can also follow us at Noona Talk, exactly like it sounds, on Instagram to keep up with our other content like reels, fun unboxings, giveaways.
We are sipping some SMT.
Let's get into it.
Okay, I think this started. The biggest thing that happened, one of the biggest thing that happened this year. Actually, two really big things happened this year. One, when we heard that Hive was taking over SM, which was just like I woke up and like my jaw was on the floor, dropped.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't
It
recovered from
was,
that news. Like the fact that, I mean, of course,
yeah,
it didn't go through and everything, but still, like the fact that they were
hmm.
in talks. And like I've not
And it
even
was a
been.
battle, like an actual public battle. Like it, this wasn't some like small talk or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was so intriguing. I mean, I haven't been in army for that long a time where I know like about the major fan wars. I was an exol at that point, but I just didn't wasn't invested in the fan wars. But like to those who
But it
have
wasn't
been
a
around,
fan war. This was like an industry war.
no, but I just mean like the fan war time, like for them to now see like Hype buying SM, like what a
Yeah.
moment
No,
of
but like
this
even
is
for
this
Lee
is true
Sooman, like he tried so
reparations.
hard. He tried like so hard to like bring them down in their initial era. But
That's what I
even more
mean.
than that, yeah. And then like he sold his shares, and that was another thing. But I think the second biggest news was waking up to CBX suing to terminate their contracts.
And also all the details about it and how murky this entire situation has been. I feel like,
Hmm.
okay, let's, so these are the two main things that we're going to look into today and answer this one big question. Did
Is
EXO bring
CBS
down SM?
bringing?
But yes, has EXO brought down
Okay.
SM? Let's find out. Let's start with like what happened with the SM thing. Where is Lee Man, dead or alive, on a Cayman Island, on Reunion Island?
He's not. Lee Sooman right now. Okay, so Lee Sooman sold his SM shares to Bang PD Hive, and he also signed a clause with them that he will not be doing working with any competitor market in Korea for the next 3 years. So, and then he kind of disappeared. SM was taken over by there. Like there was a coup in SM basically where the Lee Sooman's brother-in-law, no, nephew, Lee Suman's nephew ganged up with like everybody else, and they did a coup. They took over SM outside of Lee
Hmm.
Suman and kicked him out and tried to like reveal all his misdoings, which questionable because was he doing it all alone? Who knows?
Yeah, first of all,
And
nobody is evil alone. But second of all, we
it
BK,
takes many
okay?
to.
Liso Man is evil, cannot be your like thing to stand on. Everyone knows this. And if you
Hmm.
are
But
somebody who isn't in the know, the SM of SM Entertainment is Soman. So like he
Suman, yeah,
is the man. Like he is
SM,
so
yeah.
man.
So he left and now he can't work in Korea anymore. But what we do know is he is now in China and he's recruiting for a Chinese boy group. So
Which is really
he
interesting, just given how EXO-M panned out, and
that
how
is
they
true, but also they do have like a big Chinese presence. They have Wavy, which is very established. They have
are
Lay's
late.
company. Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. So they do have like a hold on the Chinese market, which is much bigger than any other Korean entertainment company has had. So he does know the lay of the land. But coming back to
Pun
SM,
intended.
coming back to SM, I think what happened after that is a bit chaotic, and we had things like Red Velvet tour going very badly. The bookings weren't happening properly, a couple of unexpected cancellations. We saw Shiny have their 15-year anniversary in a 3,000 seating arena, which the fans were
With yeah,
extremely upset about.
yeah.
Yeah, and we saw a whole debacle with
NCT. Like there was
NCT.
so much with NCT. Two of their members, the poor dungeon shut-ins, were finally released. But also a lot
And
of the NCT
NCT as a
America.
concept is topping.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
The NCTU concept, all of that is changing, and all of, like
Hmm.
there's so much question. There was a lot of questioning in the air from the day this sort of started unraveling.
Hmm.
Um,
And
and a lot.
they tried to bring back Lucas as well. Like the chairman posted with Lucas, but then we just have no news. So
Yeah, no, so
it's,
there was also a wavy comeback poster which had all the
hmm.
members, like, and like the
Yeah.
silhouette of Lucas. So, and everybody really started getting excited. Honestly, have I just like not paid attention? But where did that comeback go? Yeah, so who knows what's happening with the comebacks? Speaking of comebacks, it was very disheartening for me when this was going on, because the way that I have been looking forward to a Super M comeback, and now I don't know what's happening. Is it even
It's
happening
not
at all?
happening.
Yeah,
It's not
it's leaving.
happening. Yeah, because 10
It's
is
leaving.
not there. Sorry, because
Lucas
Lucas has
isn't there.
left, and
And so
I
has
don't
Lee
know.
Sooman.
And Lee Sooman has left, and along with that, Espa, like a big, like I think Espa was like used as a big leverage by SM's management. They kind of handed out Karina photo cards to their shareholders and other things. And Espa was anticipating a comeback. In fact, they like the girls leaked the songs themselves in V Lives to kind of show that they were preparing for a comeback, and then they completely shut it down, blaming it on Lisa Man. So there's been a lot of up and down, but like I think the CBX news when it came out, do you want to talk about like what we knew about the contracts and what they kind of sued about?
Okay, so I mean, one of the big things that they did sue their company was that they were being asked to re-sign for what was going to be basically like a life contract. Like it was like a 20-year long contract. Was it 20? It wasn't
It
20. It
wasn't
was 12.
20, it was like
It
7
was
or
12.
8.
It was 12.
No, no, they were signed for 10 years and it was going to extend for another 7 to 8 years.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So the
Okay.
total thing came up to 18.
Oh, right, right, right. Yeah, so basically, servitude for life was one of their contracts.
Hmm.
Another thing that they did sue for was the lack of transparency regarding finances.
Hmm.
Now, this is something just existing in the K-pop and like general music industry seems to be a really common issue. Like
Yeah.
musicians not getting paid what they're due. I mean, I do understand that SM is also built slightly differently, where like maybe musicians don't hold as much power over the songs because they are singers only.
Sure, they don't
Like they're
make
just
copyright fees, but they do get performance fees, right? They still are singers, so they should get paid for that. But the fact that they were making no money out of it
hmm,
was crazy.
very
And SM
suspicious.
very
And
suspicious,
also
and
it was
SM refused to show it to them, where they were like, we can't hand you over the details, but if you come to our office at this particular time when we
we'll
set up a
explain it to
meeting, then
you.
you can see it. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is trying to control them so they can't get outside, like in
External
any what
forces.
yeah, any external forces can't help them out, which was another thing that they kept doing, where they were talking to MC Mong, who's involved with Big Planet Made, the uh, company where ex G Friend members went to. So he is like an old idol. He was in talks. He's friends with like Kai and Bacon apparently, and he was in talks with them, advising them. And a lot of it was turned around saying, "Oh, they were influenced by him, and he's trying to poach them illegally." But they're adults who
Yeah,
can
they're
make
very
choices in their life.
adults. And more than that, I think they like even if they weren't adults, even if they're children, they still deserve to be like paid for their time and effort, which is a
Yeah.
lot of time and effort. But
Hmm.
what was mind-blowingly like just PR move on PR move, the handling of SM for the CBX situation was so insane, because the CBX news came just before, or like while the EXO promo schedule
Weeks
for,
before. Hmm.
no, I think like the concept photos had started coming in by that point,
Oh, okay.
or like
Oh.
something, like things were
No, they
out,
were
like it
like,
was.
we're ready. We're just going to prepare. And they were like, they'd
But it
recorded
was
a few
just like it was
MVs.
next week the schedule kicks
Hmm.
off and the CBX news broke. And the
Hmm.
same day they set up a YouTube channel for Just Genial.
Oh, yeah. That was
Like
crazy.
very strange. And they of course try
Hmm.
to spread a lot of bad rumors and discredit CBX throughout. And
Hmm.
there was, it was really interesting where where Sehun went on Bubble and also talked about how like really interesting things are going to come today. Let's all be like ready. And all exols across the world were like, oh, maybe he's just talking about the weather and how we should be prepared for that. And then it's like, boom, no, it's the CBX thing. So clearly, all
Yeah.
members are aware and they are working with each other. It's just a matter of who sort
Hmm.
of steps up first.
Yeah, and
Um,
I think a big thing out of what came out was the that Bacon was kind of held at this forefront where they threatened him while he was in military service to resign. Otherwise, they would not let the other members do their comebacks, which was so manipulative and that's evil.
That is really sad. I mean, like I think Baekhyun, of course, just because of his popularity and everything, does get
Mm-hmm.
pushed quite a bit around by SM. And there was, of course, like he was gone in the military, but who noticed? Because there was so much content. We were flooded with Baekhyun content. So clearly, like they'd kept him busy before, and immediately afterwards they put him into like EXO comeback, and I am sure like there was talks of the SuperM comeback, so I'm sure like there was something going on with that as well.
Yeah.
So to then on top of that leverage him
Hmm.
goes like continuing to sign based on his other members, that's just so unfair. Like that was just so
Yeah.
sad to find out.
It was sad, and it also kind of makes you look into what these how these guys have been treated and how maybe other artists in SM have also been treated because they started
Correct.
bringing out old news with like TVXQ, JYJ, the controversy where like the members left, they sued the company, they got blacklisted, and one of them start came back to Korean entertainment last year. Like that's when the NDA and the legal thing ended, and a lot of people were very afraid of like what the future would entail for a lot of these members because the way SM and their contracts work clearly are not giving any leeway. And we see so many artists like Super Junior and all who've been with them for so long, and then you start questioning, are they there because they like it, or are they there because
Yeah.
there's no other way they're allowed to be artists?
But good that you brought up Super Junior, because some of the members of Super Junior have recently ended their contracts with SM, and that I don't know what it
But
means
it's interesting because it's only their solo contract, but they still will perform as a group
as a group.
together in Super Junior, which is what Girls' Generation also have, which of course they have a comeback once in like 4 years. So like it's not
Hmm.
that relevant, but
I
there's
mean,
still
even
some
Mamamoo
level
do,
of
right? Even Mamamoo have their group contract with RBW, but
hmm.
they are no
But that
longer
ends like
solo.
this year or next
Oh,
year.
right,
Like
that
that's not
is true.
yeah, that's very short. Like SM contract, I feel like are these like you're giving away like it's the mafia, like you just signed for life. You
You
can
kiss
never
the ring
leave
and
if
you're
you
in.
die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a lot of other things that we've also found out about the EXO comeback since, where things schedules have been cancelled last minute,
Hmm.
and there's been a lot of blame put on the group saying that they didn't want to go
Hmm.
ahead with it, and of course the group isn't like members aren't overtly allowed to discuss things, legal matters, so they've also not been able to really fight back against such things, and eventually it
Hmm.
has led to CBX dropping their suit altogether. We don't know what the
Which
terms were.
yeah, we got this like vague combined joint statement by SM and CBX saying that everything was sorted. And I mean, maybe things were sorted, but I'm questioning whether they made peace for the while and
Hmm.
just to like get over the comeback. And looking at how guilt tripping is such a big concept, and even media play, like there's a targeted media play against them. I wonder how much of it is them being okay with things or them being afraid of things.
That's a really good point. Yeah, because I think the speed with which also, like, I think it was not even 10 days between the news coming out
Hmm.
and then the joint letter. So that's a little
Hmm.
very rapid, like litigation. They were just like in the room constantly for 10 days. I don't think that's really possible. So I am curious as to what went down and who agreed to what kind of terms, which we are not privy to. I do hope at the end of the day, I feel like the members do deserve more than they have clearly gotten so far, and I hope that they're in a better place where they were. Or
Hmm.
maybe they're going to be free of the clutches of SM. Who knows? I don't think they'll ever let
True.
go of Bacon. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like now that Lee Sooman has left SM, there is more. There's been a lot more talk of like artists openly speaking against the company and things like that. Like Taeyeon went and talked to her
Hmm.
fans, saying that because there was a lot of like her schedules were completely shut off for no reason, and so she talked against the company openly. So I feel like maybe it's the frayed ends are coming off a little, and eventually the current management isn't as I don't know, conniving or evil enough to be able to pull it off what Lee Soman had been doing
Maybe
once the
they
new
are
contracts
conniving and
start
evil, but
coming
they
up.
don't have necessarily the brains that Lee So-man did. Like Lee So-man
Hmm.
feels
Hmm.
master manipulator, whereas these, like
Yeah.
what management exists right now for SM, feels like enforcers.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So they don't have like the vision to be that evil, I
Mm.
feel. So I don't know if they can execute it as well. So maybe for the coming groups, because there's also been an FTC investigation with the SM Kakao thing, and a big thing that happened is that Kakao and SM manipulated the markets so that SM would be bought over by Kakao and not Hybe, and
Hmm.
because of that, Kakao is also suffering a major financial loss. So maybe something in if investigations go better or something happens, maybe the artists see something positive happening, but in the long term, I feel a lot of it is just fans losing hope and SM just not doing as well. Like I feel like NCT is kind of fizzling out, and I'm curious about what the next generation and how in the next 3-4 years things look because
Yeah, like I
yeah.
feel like SM maybe in the long term may be able to like find his footing again. But the next 4 years, I think, are going to be really crucial to see how they've like managed to stabilize this. It feels really volatile right now, like the
Unstable.
inside of
Yeah.
SM. And they've also like had really random closures of like their cafe and their like merchandise shops and all of these things. Because I follow a couple of
They're planning
people.
on selling Dear You, like Bubble
Correct.
services also
Yeah.
going to be
Which
sold.
is a good
Yeah.
idea because honestly, Bubble is such a cash grab. Like, I'm not on Bubble. Those of you who are like mad props to you because I couldn't do it.
But I feel bad for the current artists who are stuck there because I think like even NCT they just announced that none of their 7-year contracts are not ending in 7 years and at least will go on till the next year. And they're also like start two new boy groups are coming out in the coming year and a half where the new boy group and then the NCT Tokyo group is also coming out. Then I'm sure they have another girl group planned as well. So it's just I kind of feel bad for these artists because like you're kind of signing away your life and hopefully looking at what's happening right now more trainees would reconsider because it's not
I mean,
a
knowledge is wealth at the end of the day. And I think
hmm,
a lot of these groups, a lot of not just K-pop, like across the world, groups, companies do try to prey on younger people for this reason because you wouldn't know any better and you wouldn't have access
hmm,
to getting advice and the right legal help. So they sign you into these like awful contracts which are not beneficial to you. So
hmm,
I hope like maybe CBX talking about these things, maybe Taeyeon talking about these things, it does become something that people do like maybe give it a once over. But honestly, very honestly, just speaking for myself, even if right now somebody was to offer me money and say like 7 saal kaam karo, I was like, yeah, yeah, take it and go.
so will this be the downfall of SM entertainment or will evil win? We will find out in the coming few years. What do you
Yeah.
guys think? How do you feel? Are you a fan of any SM groups? I know all of y'all are suffering. There's a joke where it's like all the truck ajushis know their way to SM entertainment now because everyone's constantly sending trucks. As fans, there's not much we can do outside of protesting, and I think boycotting comebacks is kind of also harmful to the artist as well. So we're
Yeah.
also all kind of stuck in a place where we don't know what to do but hope for the best and just support the
Hmm.
artists as much as we can and send them positivity and love. And that is all for our show today. Let us know how you feel in the
Yeah, where
comments
do you think
below.
SM is going? Do you think EXO was the final nail in the coffin, or does SM have some more like days to survive? Comment down below
Hmm.
what you thought. Give this video a like and remember to subscribe so that you can catch us on our brand new episode that is coming out in exactly 2 weeks. In the meanwhile, you can follow us on Instagram at NoonaTalk, exactly like it sounds. I was Sarah.
And I was Sophia. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.